What's up, y'all? Shane Sams here, heading down I-75 on to my next speaking gig. I'm heading to Dallas, Texas. Rock and roll, get up on stage, and speak some faces off. That's what I'm doing right now. But I'm back with you with another YouTube video today. I'm going to be talking about something that is near and dear to my heart, man. For all entrepreneurs, speakers, anybody out there trying to do anything in life, you've got to have some guiding principles. You got to have some core values. You got to have personal core values if you're going to do anything great out in the world. And I've been working on a new set of core values. I like to update my core values kind of on a consistent basis, maybe like once a year. I don't want to wait too long in between, because every single year you grow. Every single year you got different priorities. Your kids get older. You and your wife are married longer. You and your spouse are together longer, and you got to have your core values. You got to reevaluate them all the time. And I've got a process that I do to set my core values that I think is a little different than other people. Now, sometimes when you think of core values, you think of stupid stuff, man. You think of things like, I'm going to be a really good person. What the hell does that mean? That don't mean nothing. Core values got to be specific. They got to mean something. They got to be something you can check your life against to make sure that you're moving in the direction that you want to move. So I'm going to talk to you today in this video about how I set my core values. You can take this and you can use it if you want to. And if you don't, you ain't got to. It's just a video on YouTube, right? But I think this will help you out. You know, it took me a long time. I've read all kinds of books. I've watched all kinds of videos. I've bought the courses and the training on core values, trying to figure out how to do it. I hate how everybody else does it. So I did one on my own. So that's what I'm going to talk to you in this video. I'm going to talk to you about core values, how to set them, how you got to go through a process to set them, and how you can check your core values to make sure you're living up to the standards that you set. So come on with me to Dallas, Texas. Along the way, we'll set some core values for you and your personal life. The first thing I do is I get my categories out, right? When I'm setting my core values, I get my categories out. I got 3 categories that I've got to work through before I got core values that are actionable in the real world that I can test and measure with all the things that I do. The 3 categories that I go through is domains. That's the first category. D-O-M-A-I-N-S are domains. These are really, really big, wide open things. Think about it like a sales funnel. I kind of think of everything like a sales funnel. So if that's your big top at the top of the funnel, we got our domains first. Then we're going to go through concepts. Each domain is going to have concepts. It can have multiple concepts under it. Those are our core values. That concept bucket, that's where those kind of come out. But then the last category, the last bucket, is actions. That's what's coming out the bottom of the funnel. We've got to have actionable things that we can do that are in alignment with the concepts, the core values that we're going to set. And then those are all going to help us to be excellent in every domain of our life. So we got domains, concepts are core values, and then we've got actions that we're going to take. Man, I had to take a break in this video just to look at, I don't know if you can see it in this, but look at the Smoky Mountains, man. Man, when you get your core values in alignment and you're doing what you love with your life, you get to get out, you get to see the world, you get to travel, you get to do whatever you want. And I'm just feeling really blessed right now to look over, not to see that gas station, but to see those mountains in the distance. Man, I fly out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and I love coming down here, man. I always look out and see that, and I'm like, man, what a blessing. And here in a minute, I'm gonna be on an airplane. I'm gonna get to look at that from above. First up is domains. Now, domains, we're gonna get what some people would say, woo-woo. We're gonna do a little woo-woo, not really woo-woo, I'm just saying, but don't call me woo-woo in the comment section, because this is not woo-woo. These are real things that we all have, all right? So the first thing I'm going to do is write down at the top of my paper, mind, body, heart, and spirit. My soul, baby. I'm going to go mind, body, heart, and spirit. I'm going to look at all the different domains of my life. My mind, man, my intellect, what's going on in my brain, right? You got to work at your mind first, because everything flows from our thoughts. Our body, right? You got to take care of this meat vehicle that you're driving through life, right? So when you're setting core values, it's not just how you interact with the world. It's your physical body. It's your health. It's things like that you're working on in your physical body. Your heart, man, that is your relationships. That's your emotions. These are things that you got to think about, man, because really life is all about the emotions that we feel and the relationships that we get ourselves into. And our spirit, our soul. What's your relationship with God looking like, man? You got to think about that as you're working on your core values too. Now we're going to look at concepts within each of those domains. We're going to set some core values to make sure that all 4 of those domains are healthy as can be. First thing I got to do though is get my parking ticket, because I got to park for a few days. So I head to Dallas, Texas. There we go. Oh yeah, the perfect parking spot. Found one close to elevator and the steps right here where I need to park. That's what I'm talking about. See, sometimes you don't get the perfect spot with everything like this, but man, today's a good day on the road, baby. I got a big truck. Man, look at that. Oh man, nothing makes me happier than getting a spot like this. All right, got my hoodie on. Got to have those layers on the airplane, heading out right now. But let's jump back into core values. Now, we're gonna go through each domain next, and I'm gonna come up with concepts, kind of like abstract things that are gonna kind of like be the umbrella over each of that thing. So when I'm doing core values, I always start with my mind. I gotta have my mental health. I gotta have something to focus on there that's gonna help me take my mind to the next level, help keep me straight. You know, when things come up, how am I gonna run it through a filter that's gonna keep me on track? So my core value for my mind right now is actually a concept called curiosity, right? I know that when I am being curious, I know when I'm putting myself in position to be curious, that I'm gonna be mentally healthy, mentally stable. I love curiosity, man. I love seeing new concepts. I love learning new things. So the first thing that I'm gonna do with my core value is set it as curiosity for my mind, so that I know I'm, doing that. If I get out of my whack, if I'm not being curious, like if I get into a rut, if I just start doing the same thing over and over and over again, I know I'm not gonna be happy. I know I'm not gonna be healthy. I know my mind's gonna wander. I'm gonna get all ADD and I'm gonna get bored and I'm just not gonna do it. So my core value for my mental health domain is curiosity. Now, in a minute, I'm gonna show you how I add action steps to all my core values so that I can actually make sure I'm being curious, and I'm being curious in ways that are interesting to me. We're gonna add 3 actions for each concept, each core value, in each domain. That way I'm actually doing the things. Like core values, everybody writes core values and they're like hanging them on their wall and people come see them at their office, but then they never actually do anything with it, right? It's just, they sat down and they spent 2 weeks and hired some consultant to do core values, and they're just air. They're just things written on a wall. So curiosity is my mental health domain core value, but I'm gonna take actions to make sure that I'm honoring that for myself. But right now we're gonna stick with the concepts, okay? So I'm gonna go on to body next, but the first domain is my mind, my mental health, and the core value that I have chosen for that, the concept, is curiosity. That's what I'm pursuing as a core value, okay? All right, let's talk about the body. Well, side quest here. I forgot my AirPod case in my truck. So I think I need a core value of keeping up with my crap. Gotta work on that one for the future. Domain number 2, body. I want my physical health to be strong. I want to be able to have a core value that focuses me on that, because guys, that's what core values are supposed to do. They're supposed to focus you on where you want to like excel and improve. And then also when you do a core value, it's supposed to be a check that you can look at if something gets out of alignment. So I want to make sure my body's healthy. If my body's not healthy, nothing else in my life is going to be healthy, right? So the concept or core value that I've got under the domain of my body is explore. A core value is explore. You can already tell by this video, I like to get out and about. I don't like to sit at the house. I like to travel. I like to go places. I like to do things. I like to physically put myself out in nature on a hike. I like to physically go to the gym. I don't like to work out at home. Like, I need to get out. I need to explore so that I can make my body healthy. So that's the core value that I have set for my body. You could use, yours could be something else. It could be whatever you want to do. It could be rest. Like, it could be something for your body. It could be nutrition. It could be whatever you want it to be, but that's the one that I picked for mine. So I'm going to look at my domains now. I've got my mind, so I've got my core value of curiosity, and then I'm going to have some action steps for that. I've got my body, I've got my core value, explore. If I'm sitting at the house, I know I'm not in alignment, right? And now I'm going to have some action steps that I'm going to go over later in this video for that. So we've got the mind, we've got the body. Now let's talk about the heart, baby. Let's talk about emotions. Talk about my core value for my heart. Had a great flight, and I am now in Dallas, Texas. Just got a workout in. I read one time that professional wrestlers will go to the gym as soon as they get to a city, and it like lands them in the city. And I kind of started doing that. So I just went and did shoulders and felt pretty good. And I'm just chilling in the room now. Thought I'd come back here and drop this next core value. So we've got mind, curiosity, body, explore. Now remember, curiosity and explore, you can make whatever you want. Like, these are your core values, not mine. I'm just showing you the categories that I put them in. So the third domain that I like to look at is the heart. Love, heart. Yeah, but really when I say heart, I'm talking about like emotions, emotional intelligence, emotional health, I'm talking about relationships. That could actually be a core value. But I'm just talking about the things that make you like emotionally healthy. We have our thoughts, we have our emotions, we have our physical body. Like all these things work together to kind of make us healthy, to make us healthy. I like to help people, to make us healthy. And so I like to assign my core values to those parts of me, because if my core values aren't making me a healthier person, then why am I even setting core values? It doesn't make sense. Am I just trying? I feel like some people set core values just so other people will look at them and be like virtue signaling through their core values. But I want my core values to actually grow me as a person. So for mine, right now, my current core value in the heart category, in the emotion category, is proximity. Proximity is a core value to me. I find that I do worse when I'm like by myself. Like if I'm just in my office all day, if I'm just in my own head, if I'm just trying to figure things out on my own, like I don't want to be a one-man band. Like that's not good for me, right? I like to be around people. So I actually make proximity a core value. Like I want to be in proximity to people. I want to be with people. I want to put myself in places where I get to interact with other humans, so I can learn from them and all this other stuff. So proximity actually is a core value. Like I have to put myself in around people. Proximity for my kids. I love to take my kids to school in the morning. I love to pick them up from school every afternoon, because that lets me be in proximity with them. And if I put myself in the right place, I can be in the right place at the right time for important conversations, important moments, quality time, whatever you want to say. I like to be in proximity of my friends, proximity of my clients, proximity of my spouse. Just proximity. I like to be in places. So if proximity becomes my core value, then that automatically is going to be a huge boost to my emotional health, because I'm around people, I'm interacting with people, which usually generally helps with my mood, helps with my happiness, helps with other things. So I assigned in the domain of emotional intelligence, heart, whatever you want to call it, proximity. So now they're starting to stack. So look at how if you do this category system that I've kind of developed, well, one, be curious. I'm trying to learn new things, right? Explore. Don't just read a book. Get out and actually do the thing, see the thing. And then when you go do the thing and explore, now I can go and I can put myself in proximity of other people and I can experience stuff with them. And all of a sudden I'm starting to become like a more well-rounded human, which is the goal of core values, right? So, so I take the domain, I take the category. And again, just like the other categories, just like with curiosity and just like with explore, I'm going to assign actions to these to make sure that I'm doing things that actually lead up for this core value kind of manifesting in my life. Now, again, these core values are going to change. Like, I think it's crazy that people are like, these are my core values. I wrote them down when I was 35 because I read a good book. And now these are going to be my core values for the rest of my life, period. No, they're not. You are a different human being. All your cells replace themselves every 10 years, guys. You're going to change. So I like to have this like framework that I can sit and think about, like who I am, my strengths, my weaknesses in these domains. And I can assign core values that are going to last a long time, but I can reevaluate them. I can change them. I can add to them. Like I could have more than one core value underneath of the domain of my mind, like in learning, right? So it could be curiosity, but it could also be, I don't know, someone who values artistic expression. Maybe that's something that I want to do for my mental health or something like that. I can add more core values, but also core values will probably evolve and change a little bit, and we got to be flexible when we do it. So I like frameworks that let me be flexible. So that's the one for emotional health. Let me tell you what I'm going to do now with the last one, which is my soul, my spirit, y'all. All right, my fourth domain, as I sit here and wait for the car to come get me and take me to the airport. Had a great weekend. Spoke to like 4,000 people yesterday. Big place, was pretty cool. And it actually made me think about my fourth domain because I spoke in a giant mega church last night. And my fourth domain that I'm looking for is my spiritual health. I believe in God, and I want to make sure that I'm always doing something to grow in that area. So for me, the core value that I've placed in my fourth domain, my spiritual health, is seeking God. You know, I don't want to blindly follow any pastor. I don't want to blindly just accept what everyone's written down or wrote. I want to study stuff. I want to chase stuff. I want to hear new ideas. I want to go listen to lectures. I want to work with other people and talk to them about God and talk to them about living life and talking to them about being spiritually healthy. You know, seeking here your spiritual health, I think, is actually tied a lot more to work than most people think. I think you got to find something that you work on, that you love to work on, that's good for your soul, that feels like art. It doesn't feel like science. Something you don't want the 4-hour work week. You want to find something you want to do for 70 hours a week, right? So we're just seeking that. That's good for the soul. Seeking things that are good for the soul. Seeking God, seeking things out. You can do all kinds of different things here. Some people put meditation. Some people put, exercise could go under this. I mean, whatever makes you feel that enlightened high, that's what you're going to look for in your spiritual health. So I've got 4 domains, right? We got mind, body, heart, spirit, and we've got my core values in each: curiosity, exploration, proximity, and now seeking. All right, so now what I'm going to do, imagine there's 3 columns on a piece of paper. We got domain, we've got the core value, but now we need to create actions that support the core value so that we actually do the things we do to grow in each of these areas. And again, I'm not telling you what your core values should be. I'm not saying mine are good or bad. I'm just saying this is how I think about the process so that I can actually not only figure out what I'm looking for and what I'm trying to accomplish in the core values, but also I've got actions that'll help me in each one. All right, check this out. So now you can see my completed columns. So you can see my domains over here that I'm trying to work for. I'm trying to work on my brain, trying to work on my body, trying to work on my heart, spirit, relationships, on my spirit. Then I have a value for each one that I've assigned. You can have more than one, that's how I do it, but I've got one at a time. Curiosity is very important to me. Exploring is very important to me. I find when I explore, my body's healthier. Proximity to other people to build those relationships. Seeking out information on my own. And then I've created 3 actions here, like you can see for curiosity. Every day I want to listen to some kind of audio content. I don't like to sit down and read books all the time. I like to listen. So I'm going to just throw some audio content in, maybe on a walk. No music showers. This is an action to make me decompress and actually let my brain think and process all the stuff that I may have learned. And then for me, I like to journal because it helps me integrate all the information that I have. For explore, one of my rules is leave the house every day. I find when I leave the house, I'm much more likely to work out. I'm much more likely to go on a walk. So that's an action that I can take just to explore locally. Get out in nature at least once a week. I like to go out to this waterfall we've got near my house. So just get in nature. Also find that makes my body healthier. And travel, just get out and do stuff. My step count is always higher on the road. For proximity, when I get in proximity with other people, my goal is to listen more than I talk. Ask questions first, like, hey, what's up with your kids? Answer last, like leaders speak last. So these are things, this is hard for me though, because I like to talk. And then seeking, reading ancient texts and scriptures. I like to listen to debates. I don't like to listen to just points of view. I like people debating so that I can hear both sides of arguments, and pray and meditate myself. So you can see this is just 3 columns. What's your domains, what's your values, and then what are the actions that make your values grow and come to pass. So that's how I set my core personal values. Pretty simple. All right, y'all, it's just one man's take on how to set core values in your personal life. But I find that the more I practice this and the more I reevaluate them and the more I don't get stuck on them. I think people think you've got to pick your core values and that's it for the rest of your life. They're going to be guiding principles. They're going to stick around for a long time, and some version of those will probably be around. But I find it helpful to kind of reevaluate them at least once a year and check in with yourself. You might want to add a value. You might want to take one away. But you want to stick with them for a little bit of time so that you can make sure and stick to them. So that's all I got for you today. I am tired. You can see the bags under my eyes. A little sleepy today. But, I'm living in my core values right now because I'm out of the house and I'm about to go get an airplane and go home. So maybe I'll listen to an audiobook on the way, get my curiosity kind of tapped into. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you loved what you got out of this content, make sure you subscribe to this channel or podcast. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so you know when we drop all of our videos. We help speakers, entrepreneurs, and influencers go out there and tell their story so they can make more sales. And you can find out all the stuff you need to get help with that over at shanesams.com. But thank you for watching today's video. I'll see you on the next one.